move beyond what the environmentalists say and think about what the International Energy Agency, which is the advisory body to the developed countries, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, says. They did a few years ago, their modeling specifically addressed how much tar sands would fit into a world in which we were trying to meet the 2-degree target. How much would it fit into a world in which we were trying to keep atmospheric concentrations of CO2 at or below the 450 parts per million. We're now at 400. In 25 years, we'll be at 450 easily. And their answer was not that there would be a stop to tar sands production, but that the curve of the growth of tar sands production could not get to the kind of 6 million barrels a day that the Canadian oil industry has been postulating, and that would require a Keystone Pipeline to be built. So they saw a much flatter curve. Now, MIT did their modeling study because we recognized that it might not be a 2-degree world. We might be in for a 4-degree world. So they did their modeling at a 4-degree world. And this very sophisticated group of scientists at MIT did those analysis, and they too found that there's not room in that kind of trajectory for the kind of growth in the tar sands that is envisioned in the doubling and redoubling of Canadian tar sands production. Now, the third thing is the Canadian government says that it's currently not meeting its existing Copenhagen commitments on climate change purely because of the emissions that are continuing from the Alberta oil sands fields. That's the wedge that's stopping Canada from meeting its current obligations, and those current obligations fall well within the gap of what the world needs to do in order to get to what the OECD says has to be done, which is by 2050 we have to stop the emissions, the growth in emissions of carbon dioxide, and by 2080 we need to effectively be at a point of 0 carbon dioxide emissions. Now, there are energy solutions that can get you there. TransCanada knows how to build a solar plant and operate it. TransCanada knows how to produce solar electricity and nuclear electricity. They're a widely diversified company, and they get good returns off of those investments. So there are ways other than taking the tar sands, building a pipeline to connect two places that have the most striking man-made footprint on a landscape that you will ever see anywhere in the world. One of them being Alberta, where you see the actual tar sands production occurring, and the other being in Port Arthur, Texas, which is a place that nobody in this room would choose to live because of the refining footprint in that community. The pipeline is just the connection, but it's a connection. It connects important dots, and that's why the pipeline has gotten to be such a salient issue.